My name is Jenny Forrester, and I live here in Walhalla, South Carolina. My mom, Nancy Schaefer, she was diagnosed in 2005 with dilated cardiomyopathy. At the end of 2019, on New Year's Eve, she went to an urgent care and then got admitted into the hospital, into Oconee Hospital. It was the first time over the last 15 years that her illnesses started to go from us trying to fix her to making her just more comfortable. And it was a huge shift in her care. We went to palliative care with Dr. Stanley, and she was unbelievably caring and just an incredible caregiver. I remember we were doing a video appointment with Dr. Stanley, and she suggested hospice, and it was the next day that they just showed up at the house. Initially, I think we were all just a little resistant because we just didn't know what it was going to be about, but immediately they sort of took over in a very positive way, and they were just so capable and so caring, and my mom was very responsive to them. And initially, I remember when Angie came in and helped me with showering, Mom had gotten to a point where she couldn't do things for herself, and we had been doing things, and it was overwhelming. It was very difficult. It got really hard, and Angie came in that first time, and I felt like I needed to be there, with the shower and kind of as part of it just for my mom's comfort. But it took one or two visits from Angie before my mom was totally comfortable being alone with her and didn't need me there. And, I was able to kind of just take a break for a few minutes, which you don't realize how much that means. But when you're doing full-time care for someone that you love, it's full-time. Ingrid, who was our RN from the beginning, I feel like the thing that she gave us was this confidence. I was so afraid I wasn't going to medicate her right or be able to provide her everything that she needed to be comfortable. And, right away from the beginning, Ingrid was able to tell me that we were doing things right and that we were giving her all the love and everything that she needed. And that was, I think, my greatest fear was that, especially in the end when my mom couldn't communicate and wasn't able to tell me what her needs were, it was really hard to know if I was meeting those needs. I was doing everything on the hour by the hour and all the stuff, but you still don't know if you're meeting their needs. And I remember Ingrid pulling me aside, and she could tell that I was upset and concerned, and she said, "Nobody could do this better than you. Nobody could care for her better than you." And that confidence and knowing that we were doing things the right way, that was everything. That was everything for me, is just knowing that we were doing it right. My mom suffered for a long time, and she persevered. I mean, she was the toughest lady I've ever known. She was the strongest person I've ever known in my life. And, she had the right to end on her own terms. She didn't want to be in a hospital. She didn't want to be surrounded by strangers. And the hospice team that helped us at home, they were part of our family. I don't know how they hire people, but there is something in every one of the people that we were involved with. There's something deep in them that makes them a perfect fit for this. And it's not just a resume, and it's not just the correct answer in an interview. These people have a passion for really, truly taking care of somebody. And that's what they did, and that's what they gave her and gave us. I can't tell you how many times Angie was here and said, we need to have this. And 5 minutes later, she was pulling something out of her trunk that was just perfect for what we needed. or Ingrid said, you need this medication. And 30 minutes later, Frog was showing up on our front porch with that medication. And it was unbelievable how responsive they were to every single need that my mom had and that we had. Every single need. It was immediate. And I don't know if that's how it always is, but for us, it couldn't have happened any better. It couldn't have been any smoother. It's a horrible thing to go through for the family and for the person who's ill, and it needs to be on what their terms are. And for us, that's what hospice did.